Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. Works of transitional justice remain stranded as parties politicize the matter. Appointment of office bearers to the two commissions delayed. Major parties engage in blame game. Exports go up by 57% in the first 8 months of the current fiscal, driven by export of soybean and sunflower oils. Imports also go up by 11%. Israel continues its ground invasion of southern Gaza. More than 590 Palestinians killed in attacks since Israel broke the Gaza ceasefire on Tuesday. And Zimbabwe's swimming great, Kirsty Coventry, elected the president of International Olympic Committee, the first female and first African president in its 130-year history. A few days ago, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli assigned former Attorney General Agni Kharel the responsibility of concluding transitional justice process. Kharel was entrusted with securing political consensus and appointing officials to the two transitional justice commissions, enabling the process to move forward swiftly. Despite his consultations with top leaders of major political parties, political maneuvering has stalled progress. Meanwhile, victims who have been waiting for justice for 19 years remain disappointed.
The Truth and Reconciliation Commission and the Commission for the Investigation of Enforced Disappeared Persons have been without officials for more than 2 years. Thousands of complaints remain pending, including over 60,000 at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and more than 3,000 at the Commission for the Investigation of Enforced Disappeared Persons. However, political disputes have prevented the appointment of officials needed to investigate these complaints and deliver justice. Prime Minister Oli entrusted Agni Kharel with resolving the transitional justice process. Following his appointment, Kharel held both formal and informal discussions with top leaders to finalize the appointment process. However, the three major parties, Nepali Congress, CPN-UML and CPN-Maoist Centre, have yet to come together for a meeting. The ruling CPN-UML claims that discussions have not been finalized because Maoist Centre leader Pushpa Kamal Dahal has not allocated time for the talks.
सरकारको तर्फबाट हामीले प्रयत्न गरिरहेका छौं छलफल गर्ने बैठक गर्ने उहाँको व्यस्त शेड्युलले केही प्रभावित भएको छ छिटै उहाँको व्यस्त शेड्युलबाट उहाँले समय निकाल्नु भयो भने यो प्रक्रियालाई निष्कर्षमा पुर्याउनका लागि विशेष गरी दुईटा आयोगको पदाधिकारी नियुक्तिको प्रक्रियाका विषयको आवश्यक छलफल गर्नका लागि एउटा सहज वातावरण बन्थ्यो भन्ने हाम्रो अपेक्षा छ हामी उहाँको फुर्सदको समयको प्रतीक्षामा छौं चाँडै सायद त्यो समय जुर्ला भन्ने लाग्छ.
Meanwhile, opposition Maoist Centre refuses to accept the ruling party's argument. While acknowledging that concluding transitional justice is their primary concern, they insist that consensus among all major political parties is necessary. They accuse the ruling parties of reluctance to reach a common understanding. Maoist Centre maintains that officials appointed to the commissions must be competent and widely accepted.
यो शान्ति प्रक्रियालाई निष्कर्षमा पुर्याउन सक्ने किनभने पहिला बनेका आयोगहरूले सकेनन् नि बनाउन सक्ने मान्छे हुनुपर्छ भन्ने हाम्रो छ.
पदाधिकारीमा त्यहाँको दाबी छैन.
होइन, यसो दाबी र नदाबीको कुरा होइन. यो सवाल के को हो भने योग्य सक्षम र यसलाई निष्कर्षमा पुर्याउन सक्ने क्षमतावान मान्छेहरूको टिम बनाउनु पर्छ. तर त्यो टिमको नेतृत्व गर्ने पनि त्यतिकै अब्बल नेतृत्व हुनुपर्छ.
A major point of contention is the division of leadership positions within two commissions. All three major parties are vying for control over their chairperson positions, and there is no agreement on the allocation of members. Although the Transitional Justice Law was enacted nearly 8 months ago, passed by the House of Representatives on July 15th and the Upper House on 23rd of August, the process has remained stuck. A recommendation committee was formed in late October, 2 months after the law was passed, but it was dissolved without making any nominations due to internal disagreements. Now there is uncertainty about whether a new committee will be formed or whether the previous one will be given the responsibility again. As a result, the long overdue transitional justice process remains in a limbo, leaving victims waiting for justice for 19 years.
Exports have gone up by 57% in the first 8 months of the current fiscal year, driven by export of soybean and sunflower oil. According to the data released by Customs Department, goods worth 1.145 trillion rupees were imported and goods worth 158.17 billion exported as of mid-February. Compared to the same period of previous fiscal year, imports have also increased by 11%. So far in the current fiscal year, petroleum products worth 162.66 billion have been imported, along with various types of seeds worth 16.63 billion. Raw materials for soybean oil amounting to 51.35 billion and raw materials for sunflower oil worth 20.26 billion have also been imported. The import of smartphones has also been steadily increasing in recent years, with 21.91 billion worth of smartphones imported in the past 8 months. The import of medicines and raw materials for it stands at 20 billion, while steel and iron imports amount to 56.95 billion. Imports of electric cars, jeeps and vans total 9 billion, and gold imports have reached 14.37 billion. In the current fiscal year, soybean oil worth 47.94 billion and sunflower oil worth 7.98 billion have been exported. Other exports include carpets worth 7.21 billion, cardamom worth 5.84 billion, tea worth 3.21 billion and juice worth 3.31. Likewise, churpi worth 2.53 billion and felt worth 3.13 billion have also been exported, along with steel and iron worth 6.87 billion. In the month of February alone, goods worth 157 billion were imported, while exports totaled 31 billion. After a decline in both imports and exports over the past 2 years, both have shown an upward trend in the past 3 months. Now, there are growing concerns among the general public as the leaderships of the Ministry of Energy and Nepal Electricity Authority have been making contradictory statements on the issue of load shedding in recent time. Energy Minister Deepak Khadka said in a parliamentary session that load shedding will soon affect households, but the authority has been claiming otherwise.
On Wednesday, Minister for Energy Deepak Khadka claimed during a National Assembly session that load shedding would affect every household. Immediately after that, Managing Director of Nepal Electricity Authority, Kulman Khesing, asserted that such a situation would not occur. However, the conflicting statements from the two individuals have raised concerns among citizens about a potential load shedding. During Thursday's parliamentary session, lawmakers raised objections, stating that the government itself has created confusion.
घर घरमा कहीं पनि लोड सेडिङ छैन हुँदैन र उद्योगमा पनि प्रायोरिटीको आधारमा कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ राति नपुगेको टाइममा डेडिकेटेड र ट्रङ लाइनको विद्युत नतिरेको ग्राहकहरूको चाहिँ प्राथमिकता राखेर हामीले केही कटौती गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ त्यस्तो भयो भने हामी कटौती गर्छौं रातिको समयमा दिउँसो त्यस्तो हुँदैन र घर घरमा चाहिँ लोड सेडिङ हुने अवस्था अहिले छैन.
On Wednesday, Minister Khadka claimed that 830 megawatts were being imported from India, which met the country's electricity demand. He also stated that internal production was 1,000 megawatts and that the authority was running at a loss of 250 billion rupees.
मन्त्रीज्यू भन्नुहुन्छ लोड शेडिङ हुन्छ, लोड शेडिङ सुरु भयो. अर्कोतिर फेरि कार्यकारी प्रमुख भन्नुहुन्छ लोड शेडिङ छैन, हुँदैन, ढुक्क हुनु पर्दछ. यो खालको अन्योलता, यो खालको चाहिँ एउटै सरकारबाट एउटै देशभित्र यो खालका समाचारहरूले दिन खोजेको सन्देश के हो? आउन सक्ने समस्यालाई कसरी समाधान गर्ने अनि जनतालाई आश्वस्त हुने परिस्थिति कसरी बनाउने भन्दा पनि यो खालको एउटा चाहिँ दुविधायुक्त, भ्रमयुक्त यो खालको एउटा चाहिँ समाचार सन्देश गरेर हामीले चाहिँ छुट पाउँदैनौं.
The authority mentioned that at 12 p.m. on Wednesday, the highest amount of 725 megawatts of electricity was being imported from India, while the minister had said it was 830 megawatts. It also stated domestic production was 1,600 megawatts, surpassing the 1,000 megawatt figure. The private sector produced 600 megawatts and the authority's associated companies produced 200 megawatts, while projects under the authority produced 800 megawatts. On Wednesday morning, domestic consumption was 600 megawatts, which reached 1,600 megawatts in the evening, which means domestic electricity production was enough to meet household demand and industrial sectors had to face electricity cuts. However, the authority claims to be managing electricity for 41 dedicated and trunk lines.
अहिले भर्खरै म यहाँ बसेर कुरा गर्दै गर्दा 830 मेगावाट विद्युत भारतबाट आयात भइराखेको छ. अहिले भर्खरै हामीसँग पुग्न पुग 1000 मेगावाट विद्युत छ. अहिले साँझमा अब लोड सेडिङ घरमै पनि हुने अवस्था छ.
At present, the demand for electricity in Kathmandu Valley is 420 megawatts. This has been decreasing daily as most people are yet to begin using air conditioners and the use of heaters has been reducing due to warming temperatures. The demand is expected to peak in the upcoming months. Apart from decreasing demand for electricity, the melting of snow has increased water flow in rivers, which is expected to add 25 megawatts to weekly production. However, despite managing electricity for domestic consumption, industries which have no outstanding dues are still facing load shedding for up to 12 hours.
बिजुली अहिले सरसर्ती हाम्रो उद्योगमा के छ भने तपाईको साँझमा 6 बजेदेखि राति 12:30 बजेसम्म फुल्ली तपाईको लोड सेटिङ छ। तत्पश्चात जो छ हाम्रो बिजुली रेगुलर छ। कहिलेकाहीँ अक्कल झुक्कल चाहिँ गयो भने 10 मिनेटदेखि आधा घण्टासम्म जान्छ, त्यसपछि हाम्रो सुचारू नै हुन्छ।
Industries have demanded 600 megawatts, of which 200 megawatts cannot be transmitted due to the lack of a transmission line, and 400 megawatts of electricity is unavailable, leading to disruptions from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. and even in the morning. The authority is also unable to supply 200 megawatts even during the rainy season. As a result, industries in the Duhabi, Parwanipur and Butwal areas have not been able to receive electricity despite availability. The construction of a 600 kilovolt transmission line in Hitoda has been delayed due to local issues, and a 200 megawatt upgrade to the transmission line in Dhalke, Nawalpur has been halted due to opposition from locals in Lalbandi. This has caused problems in transmitting electricity from Dhalkebar, Muzaffarpur to the western regions. There has been no political leadership to resolve this issue, and even the managing director of the authority, Kulman Khising, has failed to convince political leaders to address the problem. Energy Minister Deepak Khadka has argued that the report from the Auditor General states that the authority is not in profit but instead facing a loss of 250 billion rupees. However, the 61st report from the Auditor General clearly states the authority made a profit of 9 billion rupees with accumulated profits of 33 billion in the Nepalese fiscal year 2079-80. The report mentions that the loss is not related to the authority's operations but rather the debt of 216 billion taken for ongoing projects.
6 houses have been destroyed after a fire that broke out in the Tersalung Community Forest in Ganeshtar, Durchin, Halesi, Tuachung Municipality, Ward number 5 that had reached the village. The fire spread since early morning yesterday through the community forest and engulfed the homes of Ghanasham Rai, Purna Bahadur Rai, Jag Bahadur Rai, Rana Bahadur Rai, Dirganj Rai and Dilkumari Rai. The fire has surrounded the settlement, putting all the houses at high risk. Despite efforts by security personnel, local representatives, municipal police and residents throughout the night, the fire has not been fully controlled. The fire started around 10 a.m. yesterday from Sukhase Community Forest. Another fire that started in Gorakhnath Community Forest in Boldis, Bethanchok Municipality, Kavri, 5 days ago is still out of control. The fire began on Sunday night and it has spread to Chisapani Community Forest by Monday, and the tourist destination Gajaram, located on the border of Bethanchok Ward number 3 and 5, and it's also at risk of being affected. Despite continuous efforts to extinguish the fire over the past 4 days, it has not been brought under control. Local tourism entrepreneurs, among others, have made fire lines and drawn fire breaks to protect wooden houses built by the Department of Tourism. According to Kuber Dhakal, the ward chairperson of Bethanchok Ward number 3, the fire is currently far from human settlements and no immediate danger to the village has been reported. However, due to possibility of the fire spreading further, the public have been urged to remain vigilant. It is time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, why has caste-based discrimination not ended despite constitutional provisions in place? Your options are A, result of impunity, B, show of power, and C, lack of awareness. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Israel's military has continued its ground invasion of southern Gaza's Rafah as troops are pushing into the north near the town of Beit Lahia and central areas. More than 590 Palestinians have been killed in attacks since Israel broke the Gaza ceasefire on Tuesday, and the death toll continues to rise as Israeli air attacks and ground assaults intensify. Hamas has fired the first rockets towards Israel since the ceasefire was shattered, and Yemen's Houthis also said they launched more missiles at a military site south of Tel Aviv. Gaza's health ministry has confirmed the death of at least 49,617 Palestinians and 112,950 wounded in Israel's war on Gaza so far. Gaza's government media office has updated its death toll to more than 61,700, saying thousands of Palestinians missing under the rubble are presumed dead. Meanwhile, the government of Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has voted to dismiss Ronen Bar, the chief of Israel's Shin Bet Internal Security Service. The vote could still be subject to appeals by Israel's Supreme Court. Protesters in Jerusalem scuffled with police following ongoing demonstrations against the Israeli government and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel's decision to resume the Gaza war, with 59 hostages and around 24 of whom are believed to be alive, still held inside the enclave, has added fresh momentum to anti-government rallies and protesters accusing the current administration of continuing the conflict for political reasons. The anger of protesters mounted after Netanyahu announced over the weekend that he had decided to sack Ronen Bar. Kirsty Coventry smashed through the International Olympic Committee's glass ceiling to become the organization's first female and first African president in its 130 years history. The Zimbabwean swimming great, already a towering figure in Olympic circles, emerged victorious to replace Thomas Bach, securing the top job in the world sport and ushering in a new era for the Games. Shortly after being named International Olympic Committee president-elect, Coventry held a press conference where she noted the magnitude of her election.
In terms of the significance of being the first woman, being the first African, I have to say that there have been incredible women that have come before me, one of them sitting in the room today. And yeah, it is significant. I think it will take a little bit of time to truly set in, but women like her paved the way for women like me, and I want to pave the way for younger generation, especially because I have 2 young daughters.
When asked about how she will work with U.S. President Donald Trump as the U.S. prepares to host the 2028 Summer Games in Los Angeles, Coventry said she has a long history of dealing with difficult men and that she believes the U.S. president will want the Games to be a success. The IOC president-elect also said she wants the IOC to take a more central role in issues related to transgender athletes. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.